Hey guys, how's it going? Caleb here. Love ya. Just cut my hair a little too short, I think. But, so, to get to the title of this video, there's some things that seem so blatantly obvious, it's bizarre to deconstruct. But in the light of current politically correct climate, it is this thing that persists. And I understand why, because proponents of not letting people with light skin darken their skin in the United States, which has turned into the term blackface, which I believe was coined a long time ago. But people who are against that, which is pretty much just exclusive to the United States, refer to old minstrel shows where white people would wear dark makeup and they would make it look mocking, and they would behave as characters that were mocking of black people, and they would have things that I don't even want to say because it's just blatantly offensive, blatantly wrong, blatantly, that's the word I would use, blatantly wrong. No one would agree. Yeah, that's fine. Nobody would agree with that. However, it has stifled Americans from moving forward. No, this looks too bright. It has stifled Americans from moving forward where we have in literally every other respect, in terms of letting people do what they want with their body and respecting that and celebrating that. Most people are born and they don't love everything about how the way they look. Now, you should love yourself inherently. Even if you were in a terrible accident and you got, burned really bad or maimed or whatever, or if you were born with a disfiguration or deformity. However, that doesn't mean you have to love that thing. You don't have to be like, this is the way I would ideally be. People can change, and that's one great thing about being a human, is that we have an amazing ability to change. And people have stopped skin tone change in America in the name of being politically correct and being, look at my skin is changing right now, the tone. In the name of being politically correct. And it's quite ridiculous, because if someone wants to have a different nose, if they want to change their eye color with different contacts, if they want to have different hair color, in this day and age, pretty much nobody bats an eye. But there's this, I don't know if impasse is the correct word, but there's this giant barrier up between people wanting to have a different skin tone. And it pretty much just goes back to these minstrel shows, and also this thing that some black Americans have with wanting to keep white people in particular from joining their group, being seen at all as having African descent, or celebrating African people, African heritage, African culture, anything of that sort. So some people will get flack if they try to lighten their skin in America, but you get much more flack, and probably people will try to take your job away. People will try to, I don't know, ruin your life if you try to darken your skin. And basically what I'm saying is it should be no different in terms of hair color, eye color, face shape, whatever you want to do. This is just another thing with your body. And we're holding on to the past with this thing that was, of course, atrocious and wrong. But, you know, if a kid dresses up as a ninja for Halloween, it's not because he's making fun of Japanese culture. He's celebrating it. That's what he wants to be. If somebody wants to lighten their skin because they prefer how it looks, and that's what they want their body to be, there's nothing wrong with that. If they're not being a jerk about it, if they're not making fun of other people, there's nothing wrong with that. And even if they are, listen, I think that's wrong, but I'm not going to try to degrade them. I would go, I would wish that you wouldn't do that. I hope you don't do that. And maybe bring that person aside and talk to them about how I think it seems to be rude if they're intentionally trying to hurt people's feelings and intentionally trying to be bad. But if somebody's trying to lighten their skin, darken their skin, just because they like how it looks, then let them. Let them. Don't go for their job. Don't try to degrade them. Don't try to be mean, evil. Don't say bad things. Don't make fun of them. Because guess who's the bad guy now? That means you're the bad guy. You fighting against this thing, holding on to something in the name of righteousness is not. Sometimes people who claim to be fighting for what is good end up being the ones causing damage, causing pain, causing hurt. And often, you know, occasionally they might be legitimately trying to do good. There might be some good in there, but often they're just using something, some sort of argument to justify what the true desire is in sort of keeping a people down, denigrating them, and usually that comes out of fear, out of pain, out of history. You know, if you have been trampled upon, if you've been made fun of, if you've been hurt, if you've felt excluded, if you've been impoverished, if you've been physically harmed, verbally harmed, emotionally harmed, and it's all because of one group, or mostly because of one group, or even if it's just one time because of a group of people or one single person, you know, that can cause a lot of damage, and that can make you want to get revenge and try to keep that other group out of certain things. But the problem is, especially when you're dealing with groups, it can be when you're dealing with people, but I'll talk about groups right now. When you're dealing with groups, is every single person in a group is different. And you trying to keep a group out of doing something is just not treating people as they should be treated, as individuals in a case-by-case basis. You know, we don't go to court and judge based on whatever group that someone might be associated with, a religion, an ethnic group, race, gender. You know, I suppose in the worst instances that does make a difference, but that doesn't mean that we should live our life by that. We should try to live our life excluding those things and going case by case with each person. Still, let's say the worst case scenario, right? Somebody's trying to change their skin tone just to be evil, just to be a bad person, just to be mean. Even in that case, love does much more than hate. You can't destroy hate with more hate, and you can't... The more you regulate people and dictate what they can and can't do, the more, and say and think, the more you're pushing down negative emotions inside that person or group, and you're going to cause ripple effects, and that's going to cause more animosity. Only love can conquer hate. Not the first person to say that. I believe it was MLK that first said that, but I'm not sure. In any case, it's the truth. So let people do what they want, try to guide people, try to be loving, try to be kind, try to explain your point, how you feel and how you think. Sometimes, if you're loving, that might prevent someone from changing. They might feel that they have to change to get other people's love. So if you're really completely bent on making sure everybody does nothing to change their skin tone, that would probably be the best thing, is just being as loving as you can. Really, there's no way you can go wrong with being loving. So be loving. Let people do what they're going to do with themselves, if it's not harming to other people, and I'm not, if it's not harming to themselves too, if somebody's going to jump off the bridge, don't just stand there. But go forward in love, be as kind as you can, as loving as you can, and understand that people might try things and they might change their mind. Not everything can be reversed, but a lot of things can. And understand that in freedom, people only have themselves to fight against. And it's much harder to fight against yourself than to fight against someone else. People know what's right and wrong most of the time. So if you let someone keep going, they're going to run out of energy. If you ignore a bully, they will run out of steam. They like getting a rise out of people. They like seeing, they have a sick mentality. So if you just ignore them, they're going to go, well, this is doing nothing. Or if you're just kind. So the long and short of it is, to wrap up, if someone wants to have black face, if someone has to have white face or brown face or whatever, just be as loving as you can. Don't judge them. Don't discourage them. If you have an opinion on it, feel free to say your opinion. But I know people are going to be far more happy to see you, far more accepting you, far more likely to listen to you and to want to help you if you let people do what they're going to do and you're just loving all the time. All right? Thanks for watching. I love you. If you would comment, like, subscribe, or whatever if you want, that'd be cool. But if not, take care. Thanks. Have a good one.